All right, if you're the smartest person in the room, I'm going to tell you right now, your team is in trouble, not because of their intelligence, but because of your leadership. Listen, many leaders think that their value comes from expertise, right? Being the smartest, the most experienced, the fastest problem solver. But this creates a culture where everyone is waiting for you instead of thinking for themselves. Now, when you're always the smartest person in the room, you're going to know it. How? You talk more than you listen. You solve instead of developing. You dominate instead of empowering, and you block initiatives without even noticing it. How? Well, the people get disengaged and they stop being created, and literally growth just stops. I had the chance, I'm going to say it was a privilege and not a privilege, of reporting to someone who thought they were the smartest person in the room. The reason I call it a privilege is because I learned from it. But unfortunately, I watched what happened with this smartest person in the room. So what I want to share with you today is what shifted where all of a sudden performance rose and ownership skyrocketed. What did that leader do? It might surprise you in just a moment. So grab a pen and paper, because this shift may open your eyes to a completely different way of leading. Hi, I'm Casey Cunningham, and I help leaders transform their culture by building ownership, trust, and capability, not dependency. All right, so let me take you back in time. As I told you, I was sitting at this executive table, and all the executive leaders, we would walk into our traditional meeting, and the most executive who was in charge at the time literally would never stop talking. Anytime somebody would bring up an idea, we would get shut down. So what do you think happened? Well, we would just never bring up ideas. So we would whisper to this executive outside the room so it could become their idea. So we learned to somewhat function, but were we flourishing? Were we absolutely at our best? No. So what shifted? How did we get to a point where we were flourishing? And I got to tell you, it's going to surprise you, but all of us felt stuck until one day that executive leader got replaced. Now that's the good news, that we were free of being held back, but now we were concerned, what about the new guy? Is he going to be just the same? And I watched with intensity because I really wanted our team to flourish as a healthy team. So what did the new executive do that the old one, who was the smartest in the room, not do? Well, here's number one. I'm going to give you 3 things you can do to make sure. So if you are the smartest one in the room and you're the one talking, here's what you need to do. Number 1, I want you to switch from telling to asking. I'm going to give you 5-question framework. Now, this framework is going to help you immensely, because being smart isn't the problem, but using your intelligence to replace your team's intelligence is. All right, so here's the 5-question coaching framework. All right, number 1 is discover. You might want to write this down. The question you want to ask is, what's the real challenge here? Number 2 is interpret. Why do you think this is happening? Again, you're trying to get to a solution with the team. Number 3 is parallel. Where else have you seen this pattern? Number 4 is integrate. What options do you see? Number 5, transform. What's your next step and deadline? Now, if you'll notice, as I went through DIPIT, you have a chance to really drill into what's the problem, what's the solutions, what's the deadline, and technically who owns it. So that's number 1. You want to ask more than you tell. Number 2, make curiosity your default setting. I want you to replace the statements that says, here's what we need to do, which, by the way, is a tendency by many leaders, right? Or, of course, the other one is, I already know the answer. Change it to my favorite 3 words. Tell me more. You can also go, what am I not seeing? Or what do you recommend? Because your curiosity is going to unlock the contribution among the team. Let's go to the 3rd thing you can do. Give away thinking, not just task. Most leaders, naturally, all of us, delegate task. But transformational leaders, they delegate thinking. So let me give you a script that you can use. All right, you ready? This one's big. Now, I will notice, right, I have own it on. Why? Because we're teaching you how to have an ownership mindset and how to get that ownership mindset into your team. Okay, so here's your script. I'm giving you ownership of the decision, not just the work. I want you to come back to me with 3 solutions and your recommendation path. Think of what just happened. You just elevated them to a position of being creative, making decisions, and giving you a chance to give them feedback. If you stay the smartest person in the room, your team will always stay beneath you. But if you build thinkers, your team's going to outgrow you in the best way possible. Listen, if you want a team that thinks, owns, and yes, leads, click the link and I can help you step into transformational leadership.